So it is absolutely true that the third time is the charm. So welcome everybody to the stream. Um, we are ready to go. I got the chat pulled up so I can interact with you guys. I've got a new session planned, and we are going to roll right into some 3D modeling. We're going to start out in Gravity Sketch. I'm going to answer whatever questions you may have around how Gravity Sketch works, and we're going to have some fun. So, again, thank you for taking the time. Hopefully, this is up to your expectations. I'm going to have fun either way. Let's go. We start out in Gravity Sketch, as always, by making our windows available to ourselves. We have a number of tools and then menus as well. And when you can grab these, you kind of got your palette of available tools, as well as your preferences and some mirror effects. And then we're also going to grab a reference image. So I have loaded up some different images from my sketchbooks, and we're going to take a look at some of those, and then just work off of one. So what's a cool one? Ooh, that one could be really fun. Yeah, let's do this. This is a classic. So, just take a look at this image here, and it is sky sailing, right? And so, this image is of a boat, a schooner, if you will, but it is located in the sky above a landscape. And so we're going to use that as our reference image. And yeah, that's the plan. Give me a sec. Yep. All right. I'm going to get some music going for myself, because it would be difficult without it. God. Oh man, just makes me want to scream. That is so frustrating. My goodness. Whatever. Whatever. Nobody's watching anyway, right? Like. Womp womp. Well, whatever. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna have fun, regardless. I'm gonna start with a volume for the hull of our boat. Looks like a nice boaty McBoat face looking hull. Kind of more like a catamaran though, so let's try that again. I'm gonna start from the bottom, working on the keel, and then maybe widen out, and then close again. And then that's a nice prow. Then maybe we can just kind of tilt that, and that's getting there. But really, when I'm thinking of a boat, I want a rounder shape. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. So, starting from our prow, or bow, stern, whatever, and then go to the prow, and then trace the line of the keel all the way back. Yeah, that's better for me anyway, I think. The two halves of our boat. Cool. Now, as you can see from our sky boat, it's kind of got a bit of a keel. We're going to depart from the norm just a little bit. We're going to depart from that. There we go. Okay. Alright, there we got our boat. And mast. We don't need mirroring on our mast, of course. So disable the mirroring. And mast. About the right height. Vertically aligned. Right there. Secondary. And make it a little bit less tall. Because it is that secondary mast. There we go. Take this, and like the whole point, and what I think is cool about this imagery is this idea of the boat flying, right? So I want to move it up in space while keeping it relatively together. There we go. I'm a little discouraged today by not having the chat work and going from having some folks watching to who knows, to maybe watching. But you know, nobody wants to watch somebody be down or like sad. I guess it's a live stream fail, right? All sorts. All right, cool. A little sailboat model. Now, the interesting thing here is going to be when we get into surfaces, and then maybe we can get into a sail, right? Like there's sort of a sail concept here as well. Manager, okay. All right, chat. So here we go. We're going to grab a surface, and we want a two-dimensional surface. Now, check this out. Between my hands, I have the beginnings of like the sail, and I want to show that it's under wind. Bring it together, something like that, which is really neat. But now we're going to want to make this billow out a little bit more. So let's grab that, kind of give it some tension along the outside. That's cool. Now we don't want it to be too slack, because if the sail is too slack, then it kind of doesn't have a weight to it. It doesn't feel like the wind is really grabbing that sail. So I'm gonna bring it in just right. That's cool. That's almost what we want. But we want to, yeah, maybe bring that in. Okay, I'm digging that. I could live with it. We can tweak it some more, but we're just doing a quick prototype here. So, boom. There is our sail now. Skyboat's going to have like a boom, right? So generally speaking on a sailboat, and I'm not a sailor or an architect or anything like that, but when you have a boat like this, what you want to do is grab our cylinder tool here and make a boom that's going to sit and cross beam here, right? Like, so that's what's connecting. The sail is connecting at those 3 points. I legit hear a dog in the background just going crazy. This poor dog. I hope somebody gets some help soon. I don't think he's going to be okay. And then that's correct, but also want to subdivide this geometry and let's make this guy bigger. And then, because you see, this isn't, that's too simple, right? It's just a simple pole. And what I kind of want is, this is spheroid. So let's see if we make another cylinder. And now maybe we can take this, subdivide it, and squish it. So like pinch it together. Okay. F that. Simple cylinder, simple boom. We'll come back to that when we know more about how to use the magic of Gravity Sketch. So again, this program is a VR program. We are working in Oculus Rift almost 100 years ago, but really primitive VR tech, and yet the sense of immersion here is pretty substantial. This a little bit bigger. All right. Cool. Now let's return to our reference sketch and see what's going on here. So we got our little sailor. He's actually, sail's going the other way, and so our character is going to be off to the right here. Check on that real quick and look at our reference. So this track sucks. Let's do that. Like, I want a lo-fi chill hop, not, you know, like super vaporwave get down. I'm not ready for all that noise. Alright, so now we're going to take our mast. And we're going to just make it a little bit taller. A little bit taller. There we go. Alright. Nice. Nice. And awesome. Good enough. And then take this guy now. Perfect is the enemy of progress. Somebody said that today. Some smart person said that. And I just say, you know, perfection is the enemy of good enough. You want to get good enough. And good enough is usually on the path to great. Now, there are so many times in my life where I have started some things, and because I didn't think that I was good enough right off the bat, I stopped and gave up. And so I want to encourage you as just a person somewhere out there in the world, to do some things you suck at. I'm a dad, right? And I got a daughter who's not very good at everything she starts out at. And I just think about how hard it is to start things. And to immediately recognize, yes, there's going to be people who are better than you at it. But that should not keep you from trying. If anything, it should temper your expectations as to how good you're going to be when you first start out. So now we got this beam, and let's make this boat bigger, right? We mustn't be worried about just making this bigger. There's the scale of the world, but then there's also the objects. So I just want my boat bigger. There we go. And this is going to let us have a lot more detail on this build. And we're going to have to grab this and put it back in the center line. Align it there. Then we're going to take this, which is reflected. We're probably going to want to bake our hull at some point, so we stop splitting it every time we touch it, because it's a little annoying. Alright, there we go. That's better. Ish. And then move it back. Alright. Sailboat. Not the most interesting thing in the world, but I want it to be like a sky sailboat. So we're going to get cooler here in a second. What I liked, and manga does this really, they do this a lot, is, first of all, what is going on here? There's two sides to our hull. And they should line up. Be about a straight line here. Whoop. Alright. And then I think we're going to want to lock that in. So one of the things that we didn't do right off the bat was grab our layers. I want our layers here. I'm going to name this one hull. And I'm actually going to move it. And then we're going to make another layer. Then we're going to make our sail. Point and click and point and click. And then I think we're going to end up with a whole nother layer, right? All right. Checking in on chat. Doesn't seem like anything's going on in chat, but there are 3 viewers, so thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. I was unable to locate a full-time chat window above my head, so I may miss chat periodically. Be good to each other. We'll do our best until the mods get here. So we're going to throw this. These are like stabilizers, and I had this concept that this is like a zero-gravity boat. You would still want to sail because that would be really fun, but it would. I mean, it's pointless, right? Because you had 0-point technology, then you would not need to have a keel, and then this whole concept, this would just kind of spin in circles, right? But let's not worry about that too much, okay? Okay. So I'm going to grab this piece. We don't need that right now. We do want to grab our hull, and then we want to group it. And so now we've grouped our hull, and we want to move it into this hull layer. And now that's in the hull layer. So see, look. But everything else is too. So now we're going to take our sail, and we're going to move it to that sail layer. There's our sail. There's our hull. After the fact, right? And then these stabilizers, let's get rid of these because they're not mirrored and they're not symmetrical, and it's just not looking that great, in my opinion. And these guys can kind of stay in there. Maybe they should be in the hull as well. Should be in that hull layer. Okay. So, that's looking good. And then we did do some interesting things in the drawing, I feel like, with this material. And then we had those stabilizers down below. But I want to get to some of the detail here on top of this boat. So we're going to lock these other layers. We're going to look at our hull. Left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. So, ding, ding, ding. Okay. And we're going to want to carve this out a little bit. So we're going to enable editing. And then we're also going to want... So we're going to add some extra points here. Okay. And when we move these... Whoa. Seems like we added volume, but what I wanted to do was just add additional points. Can we go back a little bit? And we're going to bake our mirror. We're going to take our hull. And that baked the mirror, right? So now we have both. We'll group those and edit them. And then we should have, there's like another set of tools that lets you edit something, but I don't think it lets you edit masses. I think it lets you edit a ribbon or something like that. So I'm going to take another approach to this hull, because as I'm learning here, I'm seeing that maybe what I really want is like a plane. No, maybe a surface, right? The same way that we did that sail, maybe that is the way that we achieve a good hull. I'm going to go over here. This is where our mirroring is going to take place, right? It's going to take place on this axis. So everything blue to the right is going to get reflected to the left. Everything to the left is going to get reflected to the right. So I think what I want is kind of to see what there. And then like, that's the hull, right? What do you guys think? Or start out real close together. Whew. It's an interesting shape. Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So we've got our bow right here in my right hand, and we've got our stern in my left. And then we're just gonna, now we've got our keel down here. And that's kind of a neat end to a skyboat. It's one of those accidental, love it. And then let's bring that together. There we go. Okay, that is like 100 times better. We're gonna run with that. Okay, and that's a much better hull and much more interesting, I think, for me, than this thing that we started out with. So, F that thing. Just double check. We'll see if chat agrees. Sure. It's 3 viewers. You guys agree, right? Right. Looks great. Let's pop this out. Let's see if maybe it fixed itself. Yeah, right. You didn't fix yourself. Okay. So Oculus has an engine inside the home where it can render windows from Windows and outside programs and then pin them to your VR space. And so usually I have chat pulled up inside that space. Today I don't, because I had to restart the stream 3 times and it's still not showing up after it crashed with 2 tabs open. So that's a bummer, but I'm not letting that discourage me. So here we go. There's our sail and then the rest of our... Not quite. Okay. So this part is not the hull, right? So we're going to want to unlock that and take that and move it over to our sail component. Let's move it into its own layer. Let's move it into the layer 1. Okay. That's that. Sail. Checks out. Except I want to move that over there as well. Okay. Oh, the mod appeared. Shout out to the brave mod here. So, apparently, remove monitor resolution. What? So, Mr. Freebs, I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm experiencing. It's the worst. So I can't have my chat window inside of VR. It's driving me crazy. It's a live stream fail. Broke it like 4 times. All right. With that said, though, we're working on this flying sailboat today. And that's right here. Right, chill. And I think it's pretty neat. I don't know why I can't grab this reference image. But whatever. So I could just grab a new one, right? Sailboat. There. There's our reference image. And there is our sailboat. Yeah, you'd think this thing you'd be able to grab it, move it. Maybe it's like, oh, it's part of the layer. Can you believe that? That's so smart that they did that. Because then you can have a reference image per layer. That's brilliant. Kudos to you, brave designers of... I mean, that is such a good idea. All right, so we're going to call this our mast. Mast. And boom. And so there's a 10 character limit on layers. We learned that yesterday. All right, cool. So, boat. Yes, yes. And there's all this like cool mechanical goodness coming out of this boat, right? Because it's supposed to be like a flying boat that's got a. It's the concept here is that it is for enthusiasts, you know, like folks who would be yachting in an age where we actually have functional 0-point technology. So let's give it some innards. Let's give it a 0-point generator. Let's add some clouds in a landscape, and then we can move to some of these more interesting reference images. But first, I'm just going to take a quick look at chat and just say, howdy, chat. Howdy. But yeah, apparently it has to do with maybe it's the different resolutions that these things are at, right? And I've got it hooked up to different display ports and stuff like that, but I'm not buying it. I don't get it at all. Why it would be the way that it is. All right, cool. Back to it. So welcome to the stream. Again, we've got our super sailboat. I want to clone these sails. There we go. And then let's take this and shrink it down a little bit. That's our little baby front sail. Okay. It's a schooner, not a sailboat. Just make them about the same. Right on, right on. And let's give it a base. So we're gonna say lock those up in our hull. And use our tools again. Grab ourselves a little cube. Jump all the way down. Turn off our mirror. There. Right. Maybe another one in here. All right. Cool. I don't know where I put that reference image, but we're gonna want it right there. And then up in the middle. Okay, cool, cool. Not too shabby. Giglio. That's a new shout out to our mod Freebs. Freebly is the best. The best. I would buy him a Miller Lite if I thought that would make him happy, but it's not like that here at the Dubious Luxury stream. It's not what we do. We don't buy each other bad beers. We buy each other microbrews. Really good, fine ales. Not above some Twitch sponsors, I'm just saying. What I liked about this concept, right, and I had this idea almost looking at archery bows and things like that, is that there would be these counterweights. And that these would be like telescoping sections with like a weight at the end of it. And so this would be telescoping section where it would like move in and out. And so let's give it something like that. Let's take another one. I just really need to edit this guy and just make it like that. Yeah, there we go. And then put that in there. Better. And then let's group that. So that's a group now. And let's connect it in here. And then at the end of it, right, like these would be like telescoping sections and it would serve as like a counterweight. So this would be held out way out here and that would counterbalance the sailing aspect, right? And the 0-point generator would be inside the boat. And the whole thing would be sort of balancing itself on these series of gimbals and counterweight systems, which would, I mean, it would just be like such a cool experience if we could sail one of these, right? So Imagination. Let's give ourselves a little sailor now that we've got, in my opinion, an okay rendition of this boat. Maybe, well, let's fill the boat with some volume first. Let's do that. So inner hull, still on our inner hull. Really, we should have made our stabilizers here. So we're going to call them stabs. Cool. And then let's move our stabs to the stab layer. Okay. And now our stabs should appear and disappear. Awesome. Alright, just going to take a glance at chat here because we got that's not working. Alright. Let's take a look at our viewer count. And yeah, viewers, well, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Normally I have much more interaction here, but I can appreciate, but please bear with me. Apparently there's a bug in NVIDIA's latest patch. Oculus is losing the ability to have windows overlaid here. So if you have any questions, please talk to Freebly. He will shout out to me. Just going to pull this up. So this is our reference image of our boat that we're going to sky sail with. It's got these cool stabilizers. And now we're going to make a character, right? But before we do that, we're going to add some volume to the inside of the boat. I feel like a 23rd century Bob Ross here, which is funny because, you know, there are some folks who feel really strongly about Bob Ross being a hero. And if I can brighten your day, if you want to just paint along, you're very welcome to. Another thing that I learned, it's kind of a non sequitur, a little bit nonsense, is that this application has a collaborative mode. And what that means is that in theory, I could get another user in here and actually work together on a shared piece. Now, I've never really liked group projects in school, and I'm pretty particular about my artwork. My partner can tell you I've almost been like militant about like not sharing and not knowing how to like collaborate with somebody, but that isn't outside of the realms of possibility. Like I'd consider it. I think it'd be a really interesting experiment to do like draw offs or some kind of shared experience in here, because one of the cool things about VR. One of these locked layers, isn't it? Which one are you in? Which one are you in? You must be. Let's see. Yeah, you're in the hull. Little guy. Get out of here. Anyway, I think that'd be really neat to have that capability and potentially draw something together with somebody else in this lobby. You can have like a collaborative session. Okay, so we've added some volume inside our craft. Let's start calling it a craft because it ain't really a boat. We're going to re-enable mirroring. Re-enable mirroring. And because I want to add some kind of like, because you got to have it. You got to have the obligatory propulsion unit or power supply or something like that back here. And for the print to work also. Okay, neat-ish. Whoa, don't do that. All right, so I added all that to the inner hull. I don't really like what this has done to the profile of our boat, so craft, so we could get rid of that, and maybe that one too, and maybe that one while I'm at it. I want sharper edges. So can we get sharper edges, folks? Yes, we can use diamond stroke. And now our volumes will be, see that? Just a little bit sharper on the edges. So, and then let's make them smaller. I think that's neat. Better. Okay. Aircraft aft, front, balance forward, 4. and we're going to give it some details. We're going to give it some wiring and stuff like that in a bit. But I want to get us a sailor in here, right? Modeling a person is going to be fun. It's going to be fun and a good challenge for us before we move back to the more mundane technical details over here. So I'm just going to take a look at chat. Cool. Hello. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're having fun. So here we go. One skyboat. This is our reference image that we started from, original art. You can find all that on doublux.com. And you're watching Dubious Luxury, of course, because it says so all over my stream. I am an artist. Been doing this for a while. I've been making art for a real long time, and just decided to start sharing some of my 3D endeavors. My larger project is to take these two-dimensional items, move them into 3D, quickly model them here in VR, share that, teach you about the capabilities of these applications, and then move to a 3D printing workflow where we're going to leverage resin printing to turn these into figurines. So basically, from idea in the virtual world, well, from a drawing in the real world to a model in the virtual world, and then back to a finished product in the real world. That is the plan. I feel like that's a dream for me as somebody. I mean, this is so Star Trek. It's not even funny. So that is what's going on. That's what we're working on. Got our workspace. So let's keep rolling. So we said a sailor. So let's make a new thing for that and put our sailor on there. And let's just quickly abstract that. So how would we make little man? I'm a fan of asymmetry. I'm going to go back to rounded here and turn off our mirroring. And in this posture, the character's sort of leaning back, right? So we're actually going to do a quick outline sketch for ourselves, just going to make this easier. Outline. And I'm going to lock everything else. And I'm going to grab a skinny stroke, a little ink stroke here. And I'm just going to draw it real quick, right? And you know what? We'll even cheat a little bit, because why not? Travis Haley said, if I'm not cheating, I'm not winning. And I don't agree with that at all. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. Hey, look, we should just flip it. And then we got the reverse. How about that? Man, these folks thought of everything. Well, it's probably cheaper to do it that way from a computational perspective. Okay, so we've got our ink stroke. We got some ribbon action there. Let's expand this and let's think about our little sailor here. He's got like a bit of a hat. He's leaning back. He's wearing some kind of parachute or whatever in case he falls out of his skyboat. And he's got these arms that are straining against the weight, even though, you know, all of this is kind of 0G'd out. I think if I was straining against the weight, I'd have one leg kind of up on a gunwale, and then maybe another one down here as well. And then some feet. All right, let's grab this fella. How's he look? It's looking a little, this looks like it got messed up here. That's not going to work. But then like down here. What I don't like is those strokes can just go. And then, yep. There's a little character. Yeah. All right, so I kind of like that as our representative outline of our character. Although I would say, and I don't know if you've ever climbed or not, but if you've ever done some like wall climbing, this part here, like, probably want, from what I've seen of like yachting, like you don't want to be flexed. And when you climb, right, if you keep your elbows bent, you drain your muscles really, really quickly, right? So obviously this character would want to be extended all the way as he's straining against this line or whatever. Okay, so that's our outline. Let's think about how that's going to fit into our model. Is going to be over there. Obviously, he's going to be smaller, right? There's our character. Here's the totality of our model. Okay. Let's get him positioned on there correctly. So I'm thinking something like that. Whatever that was. Probably really important. And then I'm going to lower the opacity of my outline, but not like all the way. Just most of the way. I'm going to remove this reference image because we don't completely need it. I'm going to check chat real quick and just make sure y'all are doing okay. Looks like you're doing great. So again, thank you for tuning in. I normally have a chat window that is visible to me, but recently discovered a bug in Oculus that's preventing me from really interacting as much as I'd like with my audience. So bear with me. Hopefully you're enjoying it, and we'll move from there. So now we have our sailor who's on this boat, kind of outrigging. That's going to have to shrink, but that's okay. So our outline is locked. Let's unlock our sailor. It's just a little bit less. There we go. And then let's add some volumes for our sailor character. So you can make there we go, a little bit smaller. And generally speaking, shoulder mass is bent back, straining under the weight. Deltoids, cool. Triceps, bicep, forearm, bicep, forearm, well, neck, head, stylized sailor. Again, I'm not looking to win any ZBrush contests here. I'm much more interested in sort of a abstracted look, expressing some of the action here, almost like a gesture. So and then we've got our leg, filling in that space with these volumes. Don't like what we did there, though. That's not going to work, because what should be happening here is this kind of scrunching effect. All right, turn around, look at this back here, fill that in just a little bit. And again, not really loving that, because we want to see this arc, right? And maybe going with our immersive fiction, like you wouldn't really want to take your real body sky sailing, because that would be hella dangerous. People crash all the time. So maybe this is some kind of avatar or cyborg robotic body that you would pilot, right? Like a surrogate, like that awesome movie with Bruce Willis, where they couldn't trace an IP, so they have murderers everywhere. All right, there we go. That's not right. Just rock hard abs. And then I feel like this should kind of move in more, be a little bit softer. Get rid of that butt too. There. And then of course we said that this character had some kind of like parachute, power pack, jetpack, whatever ensemble on here. And then a little more mass behind the head. Okay. I'm digging that. It's not the same, because here you can see that the head is almost like, is more like that, and is more like watching us, like kind of watching where they're flying to. So that's better. All right, let's take our character. We don't really need our outline anymore. And then of course shrink them a little bit. And let's group them. Check in with y'all. Okay, looking good. Looking good. Chat's good. Music's good. Audio's good. Hopefully you can hear me. What is that? What do we do here, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, I know what that is. That's the edit mode for this little pickle there. So whatever that was, we just got rid of it. We're going to take this, and then as you're holding it, you can hit this purple button to group your items, right? And so now this has become a single grouped object. So going back to our reference image, take this character here and position him somewhere. So I feel like that's much more interesting to me, right? Is he's almost like sitting out over the, let's shrink him a little bit, but he's sitting out over the edge of the boat on some kind of like outrigger or platform. And then the scale here is off a little bit. So I like the scale of the character to the hull, but I mean, it's absurd. Like, you'd never be able to walk around on a boat like that. So we gotta shrink him down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah, that's way better. All right, so let's go on board and let's start ideating as to like what would actually be on board this ship if we were on it, right? So like, I wish you could feel the sense of scale here that I'm privy to as the artist, but this is literally almost life size. Almost here. Just make it a little bit there. Now we're standing. I'm standing in our little boat with our rider. So awesome. But the problem with that is 1/10 scale 1:4, 1:1. So this is actually 1:1 scale. So when we think about our 3D printing or whatever, like it could actually 3D print at this size if they make printers that big one day. So let's get in here and let's start adding some detail, because that's the fun part for me. Once we start figuring out some of these, we get some of these things in place. And double check. We can hear you just fine. Awesome. Gauges. What do you mean by gauges? And then let me open up Discord so then at least I have some way of hearing my moderator, because I cannot engage with the chat really in any meaningful way. Again, apologies. Freebly, if you jump into our channel, that would be amazing. Understand if you can't. It's fine also. Double checking here. Okay, good. All right. Well, now I'm able to talk to the homies there. Oh, but you will hear our moderator if he does decide to join in the stream. But hey, whatever. It's 4 users. Like, it's going to be great. All right. So we're on board our boat. And the question was gauges again. I'm the artist. Oh, I meant the scale here. So 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, 1:4. And then so things to add maybe to our boat, right? Gauges. So he's probably got some kind of interface. Although I imagine at this point in the future there's AR and there's some other things to interact with. Okay. So sail. Let's take our sail, connect it a little bit better. And we can also take our sail and edit it. right? Which means we can take this piece and connect it. Kind of give it more body as it's filled up with the brisk night air. Let's also take a look at our settings and make it a little more comfy in here because it's bright. I've been in front of my machine all day. Let's go to our settings. Let's look at our workspace and let's see what kind of workspace we want to be in. So let's go to the works. Let's go there. There. Our warehouse. That's not great because we don't really want. And that blue's almost the blue, but that's not like a sky blue at all. That's a little bit. It's a little bit neater. Flat color, scene reflections, outdoor, skyline. And then maybe there's a ground floor grid. Let's put a floor grid down there. Let's not have the shadows. And yeah. There we go. All right, cool. Kind of upgraded our little drawing environment. Again, I want to lock our sailor in and maybe just make him a little bit less visible. And start putting some details on this boat. Lock that hull for sure. And let's figure out what we want to put on the front in terms of our prow, railing, things like that. We're going to want our mirror symmetry enabled. We use our strokes. Yeah. Gonna make this rounded. Okay. So even if we are 0G'd out of our minds, I think we're still going to want like a front railing here. We can't be drawing in this locked invisible layer. We need to make another one. And this one is just going to be details. So we've got our detail layer. I think we're going to start going low poly here because we're going to put in a lot of these details. And so at this point, you want to move to a low reduced poly count. And yeah. Right, so something like that. I would make a good welder. No, definitely not a good welder. Boy, that looks terrible, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like the way that looks at all. I don't feel like that's either realistic or really adds anything to this. It doesn't add anything to our prow. We'll leave that out. Like a little something? I don't know. And then also like a railing. I mean, I like the idea of having a railing going around it. And I don't mind it being a little irregular. Alright, that's cool. Put some details here. This system. We should have that mirroring turned off.
And then maybe we'd be better off using some more, like, instead of the stroke here, we want to put some of these more technical edges. Like this system would rotate around. So you'd want that to kind of reflect that there would be some kind of geared mechanism and a volume for that here. On the edge, we were talking about this kind of counterweight system. I want it to be evocative of like an oar almost, but an oar with a kind of super heavy weight. Obviously at the top we need some kind of like little bird's nest or just kidding, bird's nest. But I would put like an aerial or some kind of like weather reader, atmospheric sensor, whatever package, and then some rigging that expands and retracts the smart sail. Again, same kind of thing here. Maybe the sail is grown and retracted on demand, right? It's made out of some kind of like smart material, nano material that is literally grown or fabricated by the boom. That would be dope. And some reinforcement here. All right. Yep. Looking better. Although I feel like the angle of that is it's just unnecessarily thick at the end. And does that look stylistically good to have it kind of cast away a little bit? I think so. All right, now feeling a little bit better about this prow. Like if it was, more piratey. Double check with chat. So chat, what do you think? Are we headed in the right direction with this? Oh, hey, thanks for the big ban there, Freeps. Yeah, rightly wrong needed a ban. He said something rude earlier, but that's okay. Haters gonna hate. All right. Okay, and then back to our detailed section. Let's do some more same kind of approach for this. Give that a little bit of a gear. Some supports that hold stanchions that hold this in place. It's almost like a balloon. It's kind of neat, but like that's not what we're going for. So let's connect that with our hull surface. And should mirror that probably. Make that section, let's make that symmetrical. Power packs, structural elements, yes and yes. We're working our way up to a star citizenship, right? But I figured I'd go through all the ages. I like the idea of some like stylistic pieces here. But that shouldn't be mirrored, that should be asymmetrical. What kind of accents can we put on the back here? I'm going to assume that this is where our like generator is. So let's grab our layer panel. First of all, I feel like this would look so much better if we're just hovering, right? Like if we were just watching it, it's hovering without this floor plate. So can I get rid of that real quick? Controller visibility, well, the controllers are here. Readout, return after copy, ghost, contextual, high quality, blah, 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 blah. Workspace. Floor grid, yes. But I just don't want the floor, know what I mean? Horizon. Flat color. Okay, that's kind of my surroundings. But there's no way to do sky, horizon, floor. Okay, so that's like the floor. Yuck. Wish I hadn't moved that. Oh well. I'm not good on colors, folks. I don't know if you noticed, but there's not going to be a lot of color in this channel. Taking a look at my site, there's not a lot of color in the channel. There's not a lot of color anywhere. Thank you, Freebly. Appreciate that. And yeah, I think the details are really making it come together. But one of the things that I'm not digging is this part of the hull over here, like ruins that sense of it being a boat. It almost makes it look like a horseshoe crab or one of those ancient crustaceans. So let's I'm gonna hide this. Go away, reference images. And then let us turn off our mirroring. And let us go to our hull. Well, it's going to be part of our inner hull. So there's two things to check here. One is the hull, and then one is the inner hull. Right? And so I want to take this part of the inner hull. I want to unlock this or just shrink it. That part. Like, I feel like we could just get rid of that at this point, and things would be better if we did. Because we've moved to this higher fidelity layout. And so we can replace these with some better pieces at this point. And then let's go to our hull. And this part's going to be tricky. So I'm going to take this and I want to edit it. And then we are in our mirror mode. So just trying to bring that geometry in a little bit. I mean, it was such an interesting part of the curvature of the surface layer. Like, that's cool looking. And we folded it back in on itself, which I thought was a nice touch. But that's what I wanted to get rid of, right there. Okay, yeah, that is much better, much better. Okay, and so we're going to save that. Speaking of saving, while this application has been very stable so far, you gotta remember to save early and often. So we're gonna say, oh, can't do that. It's 2021, but I can't put an exclamation point in a file name. That's cool. It's like the dumbest. It just goes to show that tech is built on legacy tech is built on legacy tech is built on legacy tech, right? Like everything is an upgrade to a previous iteration, and it is incredibly rare to find technological solutions that are truly built from scratch. So I'm digging the very slight asymmetry of our sail here. It's not the right thing to do, but it's good enough now. And until we get to like some deeper cleanup phase, it's gonna be enough. What I love this kind of like view into, like, this is kind of where our 0-point generator is, right? And that's why it's got all this cool styling. Is that like in here is where the gravitons are emitted. We've got graviton emitter. So let's add some more details to our deck. Let's get on our boat. Get on here, hey bud, and then let's give him some more stuff. But first, it's dark outside. Getting after it. Let me grab a drink. That's my eyes for a second. So database vulnerability, like for SQL injection and things like that. Okay, I mean, I get it. Um, I get it. I get why, but I still want to complain about it on my channel. All right, so we're on our boat, and I've drank some delicious, refreshing San Pellegrino Essenza, because it makes me feel wealthy on my yacht. If I was sky yachting, I would probably drink that beverage, and it would be really problematic to throw things overboard. But we're just sailing in the skies right now. Oh, shoot, you know what? We probably want a puffy cloud or two. And, like, I know it's a little bit of a departure, but let's just make a cloud or two real quick. Like, just let's make that happen real quick. And they're going to be puffy clouds. Let's just get a couple in here, okay? Thanks. Apparently I can't. Not more than 10 characters. Okay, time for some puffy clouds, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. Okay. New layer. Got our puffy cloud layer. Locking our other layers. Grabbing some volume. And changing our color. Be a nice white. Ugh, gross. Be a nice white puffy cloud color. Okay. It's a little too creamy for me, but we'll take it. So, sketch material. So let's go basic material, reflective, flat, tune, white. Cool. So what I love about the tune material, I don't know if you're seeing this, is the way that it kind of highlights the edges for us. That is aesthetically beautiful. Like, that's not going to come out in any kind of 3D print, but just having it selectively shade those edges looks dope. Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's take that. Let's take this guy and group it. Put it together up here. Clouds have way too much definition. Kind of cooler than our boat in a way, but that's okay. All right. Oh, stop that. We're supposed to group this. Okay, there. So now we got our cloud, big cloud, and let's get back to our boat. Come back. Yeah, see, look, it looks like a big cloud in the sky. Loving it. Rowing, getting closer to the boat, getting on the boat. Clouds still overhead, still gorgeous day. Got a shadow from this indistinct sun. Absolutely, folks. This is the life. This is that sailing life. But let's get the skies a little bit bluer now that we have some clouds in the mix, okay? So we're going to go here, and we'll take our horizon, blue it up a little bit. Yep. And maybe our horizon should be like lighter, and it's the sky that needs to be. Yeah. All right. Okay, good. I'm happy. So now, the other thing that I want to point out is we're going to lock that. And now let's take our boat and see what happens when we change some of these materials. So we're going to take our stabilizers, our mast, our sail, our hull, all of that. Like this. And I want to change the materials. No, not like that. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. So I'm holding it. Can I hold up? Okay. Grab this. And then move this color picker. There. Change it to the tune material. And now we get that same kind of neat edge cell shading technique applied to the boat. But let's not forget to do that to our mast. And then can we just select multiple? No. I don't know if we can apply it to like everything at once. Tune material. Where'd you go, tune material? There it is. Okay, and then our little deets. Okay, cool. So next time I'm going to start out in this tune material because I like that aesthetic. I think it looks real fancy. With that shading. All right. Hopefully we didn't mess up the boat too much. Got everything set up. Let's get back to work. We're doing some more details here on our deck. I think we do want to mirror these details as well. So we go here, turn on our mirroring, grab our volume, and then let's build some like, storage compartment looking things. See, this is giving it that Borderlands look. And I think that's neat. Cool. No, that's too much. In general, that's just too much. Can we rotate this guy out of true? No, we didn't. Just wanted those deck plates, but like not too high. You know what I mean? All right. Cool. But we're definitely out of symmetry here. Okay, now, what most people don't know about sailboats, right, or just in general, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but like you see all that space? Like there needs to be like a hatch, because that's where you would go down to sleep. So I wonder if we can figure out a way. We may just unlock our inner hull, grab that deck plate and get rid of it. And then what's up with this material? Let's keep that. Wait, no, I just got rid of it. All right, let's keep that. But is there a way to cut into it, perhaps? There isn't a way to cut into it with this type of material, so I would have to build it as something else. Dang. So let's get rid of it. Right? Just get rid of it. I feel like I'm standing in the boat, but I can't tell. If I put my head in here, yeah, it's black. Okay, so yeah, this is hollow space. We can build down in here. Right? Like there's our guy. Now we're inside the boat. So yeah, we can totally get away with that. So let's do it. Let's get rid of our inner hull, and then let's build an interior for our boat, because that's going to be pretty awesome. Right? So here we go. And then we'll get rid of that piece as well. And that piece. So now finally we have like our boat, but we've hollowed it out. I'm just going to double check in chat because we're getting way too excited. All right, we good. We got some viewers. We're good. Let's go. So, I know we didn't have any viewers. I mean, I just want to make sure Freebs is okay. So now let's grab another cylinder, because obviously this whole electromechanical mast thing isn't going to run itself. Let's grab that. Let's get rid of our mirroring. go. And then I feel like that would connect to some kind of like cross system. And there'd be like some motors or like a dispenser, some kind of like pressurized canister unit on either side. I'll bring my tools in here with me. There we go. I'll shrink them a little bit. You're gonna want some volumes. I'm literally standing in my boat, man. You just can't beat this. Grab my reference image too. I'll take my sky sailing picture. No. There. Okay. Just staying true to form. We got our clouds, got our sails, got our rider right here. And there would be some kind of like interior in here. So let's make some volumes for our interior. Couple panels, little floorboard. Actually, for those panels, we do want to be mirrored. So, where are my options at? Bring it back in here. All right, there. Almost want to kind of like have these as a little tool belt. And apparently, there is a tool belt. I'll get that ready for tomorrow's cast. But okay. So now, yes, good. Okay, just building my panels here. A little bit of floorboard. Never hurt anybody. Some kind of hatch. Maybe a quick handle. All right, some like. I don't like that. We're gonna use the stroke for that. Smooth. And then kind of right in the middle. There. Yeah. Like connection points. All right. Very Subnautica feeling. The obligatory gauges. Somebody, that's right. Sorry, Freebs. I need gauges. Although I'm a little bit worried about our scale right now. Like I feel like I made this stuff. Like the boat. Where's the bottom here? Because there's no shading, so I can't really tell. Like, see how my hand just moves through the side? I think what we're gonna want to do is make some contrasting material and make some ribs along the bottom here. So let's try that. So let's take our spray, right? And we're just going like this. And see it's giving it a nice outline. But I'm gonna do a step better and do that. So then there's the edge. See, that's too much. That's going on the outside of the boat. Boom. Then back here, we're going to design our little gravity generator. Oh, sure. We're going to design a little gravity generator. Oh, I'm running out of space in the real world. There we go. Move that down here. Yeah, that's so you see how our little mast is off center because that's our center line. Cool. I want to make sure that works. Let's move to this forward bulkhead. Some safety handles. Another ribbed line. All right, it's a trip. It's a trip, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, now we're starting to get some detail. I'm just going to check in with chat real quick. Yeah, this is Gravity Sketch Console. Welcome to the stream. So this is Oculus Rift. The application is called Gravity Sketch, and it's great. I've used Tilt Brush. I've used the other applications that are available in this space, and this is the best one, I think, by a wide margin. All right, so at this point, like, I feel like we really got to clean up our mask. That asymmetry is going to be a problem. But before we do, let's finish our little rib subdivisions. Just going to make it easier to navigate inside the boat. Oh. Structural supports. And then let's start putting in our gravity generator. Okay, we're inside. So what would a 0-point generator look like? Well, I think since I get to make one up, it would have some kind of toroidal, double toroidal. Let's put more of them. It'd have some donuts, basically, right? I think donuts would be key. Like some kind of like magnetic units. Okay. I think those would be around a central sphere. So I don't need that symmetry if I'm just going to put the sphere right in the middle. Okay. I think you would have a ton of wires going all around it. But let's add some soft cubes for like some things that are holding it together. And now we want to move back to symmetry. A lot of mechanical stuff, electromechanical stuff just looks better with symmetry. And it gives us a way to clean up our act in terms of maintaining symmetry around our singular non-mirrored items. Cool. I like it so far. Grab another torus. Put that along the top. Put those back. Underside, some storage tanks for weird dark matter injection. Those are definitely going to want to be symmetrical. And duplicate that whole assembly. And those materials. And we're going to have some more. That's lame. Let's get rid of that. Alright, let's get rid of our symmetry again. And put in a cylinder. Dead smack in the middle. Alright, cool. I think that's neat looking, kind of, sort of. We need some more boxes and let's install that. It's like a control panel. Control panel here. It's just master readout of what's going on. And then let's give it some more supporting like circuitry. So I like the way this thing looks. There it is. So we're just gonna make a backup one, or like the system actually operates with two. Yo, I'd like to apologize for the music for a second. We're gonna have to go to SoundCloud and rectify this situation ASAP. No kidding. All right. Whew. I was scared for a second. I ended up listening to something that I would never listen to in like 300 million years. Gonna double check chat here. Close my pop out. Is everybody good? Can I watch this stream on Oculus? That is not the most recent chat. So what's going on here? All right, good. Back to it. All right. So got this. Let's get while the getting's good, because I'm gonna run out of patience with this work. So we're gonna move a little bit. We're gonna give this piece here. Now, when building like mechanical stuff, you do want to make it somewhat realistic, but just remember that this isn't real tech. And so, for inspiration, I often look at prototype systems made by, like, if you look at like scientific research instruments, right? So if you look at Fermilab, or if you look at the Hadron Particle, the Large Hadron Particle Collider at CERN, you will see that non-production systems like are not very streamlined. But in this world, this isn't like a one of a kind. This is mass produced. So an effort has been made to stylize it, perhaps. So I don't know. I like to like maintain those messy elements of kit bash sometimes, but for this particular model, I don't feel like that is better. So we're now deep inside the bowels of the 0-point field generator. We're going to give it. Also, apparently, I'm somewhere lost in my room, my VR space. Let me just double check and make sure I'm still on camera. I've wandered off quite a bit. We're quite a bit off course there. Okay. All right, folks. So we're just wiring up the insides of this generator. Sort of got lost for a second. So let's connect it all together, make some quick volumes. All right. There we are inside the boat. And then here's like where the gravitron emitters are. So some kind of coils. All right. All right, all right, all right. Well, that's where I left my tools. You can always remake your tools if you need to. And bring your control panels back if you need them. All right. I feel like that's pretty good, although like more would fill up the space here. Maybe there's some tanks for the fuel source. They would not be square. They would be capsular in nature. Place some tanks there. some tanks for the secondary material there. And then tertiary material there. And then fuel source or whatever. Let's wire that up. It's a little lazy. Line that up. Small circuitry connecting that together. A couple little caps. There we go. Me and my troops are going sky sailing. Alright, that's our zero gravity generator inside our boat. As you can see, we've lost some geometry as we moved away here. This thing notably got lost. Right? We actually moved quite a bit of stuff and jacked it up. So I moved to fix that real quick. Okay. Alright, so we haven't lost our minds. There's our boat. There's our primitives. There's our layers. There's our preferences. And then we did have this unit, which was a, I think this is actually our secondary mast, or front mast. Cool. And then this part, I'm just going to unlock everything. This is our stabilizer. Fits in right there. And then this goes on the end of the stabilizer. There. All right. Sails kind of got lost inside the boat for a bit. Oh, let's not forget our reference image. Oh, it's nice and small. So there. So we kind of went inside the boat for a little bit, and we gave it a little bit of detail. So now those are clouds. They can be locked. Those are details. They're super important. Mast, sail, inner hull, hull, sailor, outline. And I suspect that, yeah, all of our mast A and B actually ended up being the layer where we stored that, but I don't really care that much. So now we're going to go back in, do a little bit more interior, and then wrap up the exterior. So we got our gravity generator. Let's give ourselves some volume to give ourselves a bench. And this one, by the way, folks, like, we're not going to be able to 3D print this. I can't imagine this going over well. So some superstructure there. Triangles. Strongest shape. Check out The World of Buckminster Fuller on Amazon if you want to have your mind blown by a real genius. Fantastic documentary about the world of Buckminster Fuller. Discovered a fourth form of carbon. Pioneered a number of really incredible ideas. Early supporter of universal basic income, not to get political. And just a fascinating human being. Wonderful humanitarian. There we go. Bucky. What else would I want if I was in here, if I was to climb in here? So first of all, I want to be able to climb in here. And generally speaking, you want like some kind of superstructure. So we'll put a couple like steps. But I don't know if I like the idea of steps per se. We'll give it a shot though. I was just thinking like simple cubes. Soft cubes. Yeah, that's a step. That's what we want. But we don't want to mirror it because we just want one like thin thin ladder. A little bit. Yeah. Love it. Okay. And then once we're in, I don't really care what happens down at the bottom, but I will put a structural support, another volume here along the keel, and I will mirror it so that we're sure that we have good symmetry. All right, cool. Good enough for me. Let's work on our decking. So I don't think we have a layer called deck yet. Double check in with chat real quick. Hi chat. Chat's doing pretty good. Got some viewers in the mix. If you just arrived, welcome to Deblux. Feel free to look. My name is Deblux. This is channel Dubious Luxury. We are taking this reference image. This is a 2D sketch that I did a while back. And we are turning it into a sky sailing boat, like a 0-point technology, zero gravity sailboat in a application called Gravity Sketch. Originally, we were going to do some 3D printing, and we still do on this channel, and we're going to 3D print this, but like this model is too cool. I don't think we can get this kind of interior detail with 3D printing. I kind of got carried away. I climbed inside the boat. I got real excited about being inside the boat. I got real excited about engineering a 0-point gravity, anti-gravity generator, which you can see there as we go down the ladder. And so whatever. So we're going to finish some details around the exterior deck here. And then we're going to go to our sailor, who has so far been like a very shadowy, sketchy figure, I dare say. And not really visible. So leave that up. Leave up our stabs. There's our sailor. Now I'm trying to find is this particular piece here, because it didn't get the same layer associated with it, so didn't get the same material. So let's grab these materials and switch them to tune. Okay. And that gave it that nice cell shading outline that I was looking for. So let's put a couple more cosmetic details on our gunwale here. All right. It's mirrored. Awesome. And then I don't know if you noticed, but we've got just a slightly lighter color, which is giving us some cool accents as we work through the exterior details. Let's see, take a look. If we go inside our boat, did we just mess something up? Kinda, sorta. See, two of our little units here got messed up. So here we've got that plate, but I'm all right with it. I am going to give it like a real keel. There. So I think that looks neat. I mean, let's say, oh, it's our ground plane. We're getting dangerously close to the ground plane there. Okay. One other thing that is different between our reference sketch. I'm going to slow things down just a little bit here for you guys so you can see what's going on. Which one's our reference sketch? One of these is... Be able to... so close though. You'd think I'd be able to grab this guy. But like no dice. That reference image just stuck sometimes. I think it's a I don't know why it happens. But anyway, let's take a look at our reference sketch. So when you can see on our reference sketch, there's a lot of like circuitry and gadgetry associated with the outside of the hull. But when you look at the sail, first of all, the sail is translucent. And I don't know how to do that within this application. And then the second thing is we got some details along the mast. We got this little doodad there. And then the mast and the sail is roughly like 4 times the height of our character. And I just feel like it's just a little bit off. And the weight is wrong. So I want to take a second and extend our sail just a little bit. So oh, I see what happened. There's like a scroll here. Look, you can see there's a scroll here. And that's where that reference image was locked. Okay, sail, right? Sail, edit the sail. I'm going to grab all these points at the top. Just yank it up. There. And then grab some of that. Smooth that out ever so slightly. Because I wanted to have a sense of tension. And if you notice things like sloppy that like flap in the breeze or hang like sleeve of wizard, doesn't indicate like a tightness, right? There's a sense of weight in this that you can just intuit from how it's flexing. There. So I want to give that sensation of wind, but without too, like right here, the way it wavers doesn't seem right to me. All right, that is better. Just save that. And then we're going to grab this, our mast, and we're going to raise it up. And then, oh, can we get close enough to just grab this little guy? Sure we can. And then this is now going to be sideways like in our drawing to reflect this kind of asymmetrical wizardry that's going on at the top. Is that too much? That's too much magic at the top. And then the other thing that we kind of have to do, and I didn't want to do this, but we got to do it. We just got to do it. You grab the bull by the horns, take this whole package, take all of this, group it, and move it towards the middle. And this is tough because it's so easy to mess this up. All right, we missed a spot. Missed those guys. And we missed those guys, but we can always we'll fix that later. It's really hard to do in VR. It's really hard to true things when you're seeing 720 in each eye. And the same kind of wizardry we did on the sail there, we want to do here. We're just going to pull this whole sail up and in and make it much less drawn out. What I mean is I don't want it to be as, I want it to be more taut. Get out of here, you. Oh, reference image is actually helpful. It's just trying to help. All right, cool. That is better. So let's put our accents. Oh, let's grab these guys, connect them to the end. This is our sail extruder. where our Nanotech Smart Sail gets extended. These are our extending balancers. They're like stabilizers that have weights on the end that extend and retract to balance the boat, which is what makes it fun for our sailor to sail it, even though it's not strictly speaking necessary in the age of zero gravity. I mean, if you if you had anti-gravity generation, would you give a shit about a sail? I don't know. Ask that guy, John Carpenter, on Mars. It seemed like they needed it. It was essential for the kind of creative license that they were employing, and I want to take that same license here. So dang it, look, even though we adjusted our sail, we're still way off. You want to just be there, just like aligned center. So let's see if we can use some science to help us with this. So here we have a grid, XYZ axis, all directions, smart move. Smart move. There's an option for smart move. There we go. How about that? Just made a smart move. Thanks, guys. There's a real smart move. Oh, geez, Rick. That was a smart move. All right. And then let's take this, shrink it down for our front sail. And while this starts getting like real weird, the way that it feels, these smart moves are going to enable us to center. That wasn't a very smart move. This is going to enable us to center our setup like so. I mean, one of those is centered, so I don't know, bro. There we go. Nope. Nope. Yep. Okay. And here's our little crow's nest, and look at that sense of scale. Let's put some like cool stuff up here. And this is the problem with smart moves and grid following. As you can see, the grid is now, I am now snapping to an invisible grid. And if you want to see what that looks like, and it actually looks really cool, but I found that like I quickly outgrew its capabilities. I will show you what that looks like. If you've got this grid, you can actually see the grid. Scale snap. Right-handed tooltips. No. It's like this, but there's an option whether you can see the grid. I mean, it don't really matter. Cool. So we're somewhere. I'd say I'm approaching the 2-hour mark. We aren't already there. And what I'd like to take us is I'd like to finish up the sailor, take some snapshots, and say, man, we nailed it, ladies and gentlemen. Gentle beings. Take a second. Have a sip of San Pellegrino Essenza, official beverage of truly dubious luxury. It's not the official beverage, and I don't care for it. Cool. So, and then I wish I could just like rotate all the things. So home orientation. I don't know what that just did, but good. But now I'm facing you in the real world, and we can reorient, kind of reset, and settle in for the final couple moves here. So there we go. Got our reference
sketch. Get some clouds. Got our boat. Boat's got a zero grav generator, and it looks pretty dope. I mean, it looks nice. Of course, I am both partial and I gotta, hype myself up. So there we go. Okay, thank you for watching. Let's get to this sailor. So it'll be nice, and I think they'll get there one day with grouping for these. Like, it would be cool if you could group them. This is super weird. You guys see how this is not straight? Kind of distorted. Super distorty. It's too big or something. This is weird. Very, very strange. Alright, there's our character. So now let's lock up everything that isn't our sailor. Alright, we can even lower some opacity as well. So you can kind of see the different... Actually, I'll just let you take a look at some of this stuff. There's our interior. If I grab our deets, there's our zero grav. Looking super, looking a lot like Borderlands. I feel need to be able to grab that and fix it. We're gonna come back to that from a mechanical perspective, but that's cool. And then finally, let's go get let's go get it. Let's get our sailor. Sitting here. Change that head up. Okay, these are just let's give ourselves some volume. Yeah, like that's, I'm going to simplify this quite a bit. So we're going to add another layer, and we're going to call it Sailor 2. Cool. And then we're going to take our outline. Remember how we had that outline of the sailor a long time ago? Like, how am I supposed to scroll? What do you guys think? Like, the order doesn't matter too much. There. Can we delete this layer? No. Toggle solo layer. Okay, so that's really neat. And then cancel solo. But then how do we... Can we grab it? Okay, click it. Okay, can we grab it? And now, woo! Delete layer. Yes! Awesome. Good job. All right. Anyway. Okay. Let's grab our Sailor 2. And let's just work with not low poly, not planar. Point mode. So what does this do? Useless.
it has me like set points. And then I double click and like, what would I do? I mean, I guess that's really cool actually. And we'll figure out what to do with that at some point. But not right now. All right, let's change our color. White. We can distinguish our character from... I don't know if we really need to do all that. Just give him like some accents. All right. Gonna check on chat real quick. Hey, the printers will thank you. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to print this one. Big shout out to my printer, N. Wilging. You can find his Twitch channel where he's generously printed some proofs of concept before we launched the channel to see if we could export some of the items that I have made in the past. And it turns out, because all this is a proof of concept for us here at Dubious Luxury, that this produces incredibly detailed models. This application very quickly too, I might add. Our poly count goes way up, and so we said we weren't going to even try to print this one because I got carried away and was having a lot of fun with the interior. A little gravity generator. That looks cool. Kind of makes me think of like old school Bell bike helmets. That modular approach. Alright, so that's neat. I might throw some white accents on the boat and then call it good. So, alright, let's get our stuff visible, right? Let's go. And then, are there any that we're missing here? No. We're not missing anything. There's our boat. Yeah, it looks pretty fresh. I'd say the only thing we're missing is the sort of keel at the bottom. So, and then also it's way too close to the ground. So, let's see what we can do about that. Let's unlock all the things. Now we're grabbing everything. And we're just going to move it straight up. But see, I wish this was a thing. All right, there. I actually kind of grouped the whole boat. But, like, that's bananas, right? Like, that ain't working. And if I move it up, even if I move it up along... Oh, you know what, though? I just had maybe a 60 IQ thought. So, we undo here, and then we give it our smart move, right? What do we say? We got smart move over here somewhere? Smart move. Let's go, smart move. Just move it up. Don't. No. No. What can we do to avoid that issue? So grab everything. Break the grouping. Grab everything. Group it. And now. Oh well. There's nothing to be done about it. Just gotta be as precise as I can be. Just sucks because it cracks our ship open like an egg. What if I take the parts that still have, select them and then bake their symmetry, right? There should be a way to constrain movement to one dimension, but I haven't found it. Oh well. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay that it's that height, because I'm really trying to break it. I mean, let's take a picture with our boat. Oh, that's kind of fun. How that just exploded open. Take a couple pictures with our boat. Sky sailing. Oh no, got this part. I just want this part though. So can we just get this right here? And then we're gonna like it's like Jenga. But terrible. Need a terrible digital Jenga. Okay. This piece on the end doesn't exactly inspire confidence. That's cool. And then let's fit it in here. And fit that on there. Man, I would totally take this sailing. Let's change our color here on our sail. Sail, sail. Where's the sail? There it is. The one locked one, right? And let's make it a little bit lighter. Same with this one. All right. Yeah. Let's get our camera going. I've tried to take selfies with this, but it doesn't come out. We're just going to show the UI, because why not? That's awesome. All right. I'm going to take one. Oh, I need to do one with the dang reference image. All right, good enough. And then maybe roll my way over there. Bam. All right. Whew. Close that. Save it. Sail 2. Final. Return to our lobby. And for those of you who haven't been following, we've actually done a couple really cool things so far. We've got our sail, we got our ant factory. And factories 1 and 2, the meditator concept. Oh yeah, the elephant, the mecha elephant. I want to kind of click and open this one just to kind of compare where we've been. It's like crazy mecha elephant. What do you think, printers? Think we can rock that out? It's been interesting to get a feel for this application. It really is incredibly intuitive to work with. So I'm going to give myself 2 minutes to just bust something out, but I need somebody from the audience to tell me what they want. We smart. So chat. If you're in the chat, cactus, first thing. Dang. So like, what is local art? I actually have a graphic around this about like what is local art, and it's just add a cactus, because here in Arizona, like 90% of local art is fools drawn a Sororo. But all right, so be it. Love it, hate it, I guess. All right. So let's go. So if we want to make a cactus, you just go like this. It's really hard. We could do better. So Sororo kind of goes like that, and then they got this. What happened there? Cactus. What a troll. But he's like one of the mods though, so you can't be trolling, right? You can't troll if you're a mod. Now, can I edit this guy and then there's like, dang, so I've been trying to figure out how to like cut grooves into these things. So in one of these materials, I wonder whether it's surface that lets us do it. Let's do surface. Let's grab the surface and see if we can. No, there's like a whole set of. So if we subdivide it, now suddenly we get the tools. Yeah. So check this out. Here we have like a surface. We're in the surface edit. And here we can actually crease and do all sorts of interesting things by selecting these vertices. And you see how it like creased. Like I haven't learned even half of the magic of this.
But where I'd like to get to, like if you look at how these surfaces work, these surfaces are, I think, unlock tremendous potential within this application. Like, because now you're suddenly working with Bezier curves. You're working with all of the stuff, right? And give this cactus a damn cape. Give him a poncho. So maybe that's next season, right? So in the meantime, we're just gonna get rid of that. Wrap up our cactus as our closing music plays. Now, cactus wouldn't be a cactus without some prickly bits. So I'm gonna take some cones. Just little cones here. Take one there. Pull another one there. This is like some Arizona sunshine cactus action. Like a little zombie. We kind of got this like sunset kind of light going. I think our printer would be happy with this one. I think this is the kind of low poly heaven that that filament printing sells at. But don't knock it until you've tried it. And I actually haven't. So I'm excited to get into some printing. Due to the recent giant upsurge in Bitcoin, I was able to get the funds together, I think, to go get a resin printer. And so we'll probably do a stream just around that in the makers or science and technology category. Just unboxing that, getting that set up, laughing as it completely fails. Maybe getting you guys to help me out in case toxic fumes overwhelm me and I end up falling into the uncured resin batter or go blind or something. I mean, anything could happen. We're just double checking chat and make sure people are enjoying this cactus. Oh man. So there we go. We need some more prickly parts to a cactus. Now what most people don't know, prickly pear cactus has like a jam. And when the cactus is flowering in the desert. We'll put one right here. That's like a special one. That's for the like you want to see a magic trick and then you just boop. Let's get rid of that. Sharp edges. You don't want to see your Twitch streamer accidentally impaled on their own 3D object. There we go. Oh. Just want to somewhat, regularly irregular distribution of these guys on here. Too many pricks per square inch. You know what I mean? Okay. There. All right. Anyway, so they flower and they produce this jam and they're like really, really amazing things. They'd be amazing things. Yeah, this Polish friend once, whose whole like brand was called the Cactus Project. It was like a cactus sticker. It's very similar to everyone, really, in a lot of ways, except that he was depressed, untalented, and ended up committing suicide. So that's the end of that joke. All right, here we go. Let's make a desert flower though for this. Audience response is like, "What, dude?" All right, small. So if we were to make like a little, I mean, this is my ELI 5 Play-Doh version of the petals of a Sororo cactus flower, and we should grab a reference image, and that might help us a little bit. But we all right. We are. Make it bigger so we can put in some of those little stamens. Little flowery parts. The parts that won't print real good. Okay. I think. I feel like that could be tapered a little bit though. So maybe we can
Check. I feel like it was better before we try to do all that. I need those edits. There. Cool. There's our little cactus flower. And we compress it down. I'm going to group it, and then we can just place a couple of these. But before we do, oh no, I forgot. Yeah, they got to be the right color, right? It's for them to look really neat. So let's break our group. Let's grab these petals. Let's make them a nice, well, this should be yellow. What are you thinking, Dublux? Should be like yellow. No, like, for real, like this should be yellow. All right, there. That's better. And then this part will make like green just for like a nice contrast. All right, and then this should be what? It should be like a nice red. You see my color. I didn't do too well in the color class. Like I actually hate working in color. But now the cactus looks so sickly with the flower as pretty as it is, and then like the cactus like gray, like poop gray. So we're gonna hook this up for the homie everyone. And you just, I mean, this is for all the times that everyone won the 1v2 in Warzone duos. Because honestly, like I can't count the number of times dude bailed me out. Literally can't count. So let's duplicate this flower so I always have one to go back to. Let's make it smaller. And then let's fit it on there on our cactus. Shoot. Let's put another one here. And another one like over there. No. Too many kinda. They kind of flower in chunks, like on the same part of the cactus.
What am I afraid of? What the fuck am I afraid of?
You're afraid of me, you're afraid that I won't love you back. You know what? I'm afraid too. Fuck it, I want to give it a shot, and at least I'm honest.
There you go. One cactus. Let's take a snapshot of that beautiful thing.
No, you're not going. You're not leaving.
That's bloody awful, it is. Really. Truly. Alright. Should we even save it? Of course we're going to save it. Of course we're going to save it so we can print it. Oh my gosh, why wouldn't we? This is the age of dubious luxury. Dubious. Can I even... Is it even enough characters? No. Oh, yes it is. Alright. Cactus luxury. I think that's... Yeah. So, appreciate you all very much for joining and tuning into the stream today. Y'all are great. I'm going to hang out in Discord for a minute afterwards just to say what's up to the followers and subscribers.
thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging through the technical difficulties. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to everyone, the printer, Nick, Will, Ging, and the whole gang. Appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Tomorrow night is Friday night. If I have energy after doing parenting, I may set up my easel outside and do some two-dimensional painting outside if I can figure out how to get the live stream to work outside on mobile. So we may live stream tomorrow night and literally just do painting. So as always, appreciate you all. I'll post some of these up on the gram or add them to the site so we can get that collection of models going. And yeah, until next time, be creative, be good to each other.